All right. Hi, everyone, and welcome to our session on improving retention and recruitment with on-demand pay. I'm Wendy Yu, Business Development Executive at Tapcheck. I work with business owners from a variety of industries to introduce on-demand pay as a financial wellness benefit to their employees. I will be moderating the chat today, so please feel free to send us any questions you may have. It's my pleasure to introduce Alex Abid, our Head of Customer Success. Just before coming to Tapcheck, Alex worked on onboarding customers for satellite imaging and artificial intelligence industries. He developed extensive experience in sales and customer success at companies like FreshPoint and NerdWallet, driving positive customer experiences. He has a knack for understanding the issues of both our client businesses as well as the end users of Tapcheck, ensuring we evolved with customers' best interests in mind. And with that, I'll let you take it away, Alex.
Thank you, Wendy. Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon. I'm in Los Angeles, so it's still early in the morning for us. And like Wendy said, I'm Alex. I am our head of customer success at Tapcheck. And I spend every day making sure that employers like yourself get onboarded with our company. And they have a firm understanding of what we do and how we can benefit the organization in so many ways that I'm going to discuss today. As you can see, just this year, we were recognized as the best employee benefit solution for 2021, and we're very excited. It's actually a brand new announcement for us. But today, let's talk about how to improve retention and recruitment through using benefits like on-demand pay, which is what Tapcheck is. So I want to begin by giving you an overview of why we even started with this on-demand pay and what it is and what our mission is. And so our mission at Tapcheck is to increase business performance by improving financial wellness and empowering employees. We want to make sure that your employees are coming to work focused and motivated and ready to just get what you need done, all while making sure that their stress outside of work is taken care of. So we've created a benefit that gives employees the power to choose to get paid, and that's Tapcheck. We are a free benefit for employers, for all businesses. There's no fees. There's absolutely no impact on your cash flow. Those that pay the fees are the employees. It's very low fees. It's similar to an out-of-network ATM fee. And what it is overall is it's on-demand pay. Employees are able to access their paycheck ahead of payday for a small service fee. This can help them in a number of ways that I'll be leading to, but just for an idea, it's going to be like they have a late bill they need to pay off, and payday is not for 2 more weeks. We give them a way to make sure that they can pay that bill on time without any late fees that would push them even further backwards. And in case there's an emergency, they'll have extra money available then as well. Those are just 2 examples of many ways that it can help your employees. Now, we noticed this was a problem by looking at stats around the country. You'll see here, 78% of American workers are living paycheck to paycheck. Over 3 out of 4 people are living paycheck to paycheck in the United States. 39% of those people would have trouble covering a $400 emergency alone. And that financial stress is costing you as an employer. You'll see annually around the country, $500 billion in financial stress costs to companies. It's a major amount of money. Let's talk about what financial options are out there right now, other than on-demand pay, which is a new and up-and-coming business or industry, excuse me. And the options that are available right now are not very affordable for your employees, and in fact, hinder their ability to become more financially stable and well off. An example of that is high interest loans or payday lenders. Working at NerdWallet, we would discuss payday lending with clients all the time and ways to get away from it, right? We would work with financial content, promoting that at banks, helping banks help their clients become more financially stable. You'll see payday lenders charge interest rates up to 400%. That's going to put your employees into a hole that they will never be able to get out of, no matter how hard they try. We wanted to make sure we had a solution that solved that. Bank fees. The average bank assessed NSF fee is $30. So all of those bank fees continue to add up, and it's just only pushing your employees backwards. And many companies across the country don't even offer an advance policy, especially in today's climate with the pandemic and quarantine. It's just more difficult for companies to offer those advances. And a lot of times that extra work for the payroll department might be a problem. And with Tapcheck, it's no extra work for your payroll department. Now, how does that financial stress of your employee matter to you, other than your own compassion? Well, it actually does affect your business. When they're stressed about things outside of work related to finances or other personal problems, it's going to be leading to lost productivity and lower quality work. They're not going to be as focused on the task at hand. They may not even show up to work because they're so stressed about making sure that they can do something to pay off that extra bill or cover that emergency payment. This also can lead to higher turnover. They're going to be thinking, I'll never get out of this rut. I must need to find a different job or some type of way to solve this problem. And that's usually not the solution. It's just being able to make sure they manage their money effectively, learn more about their financial literacy, become more financially literate, and then make sure that they're focused on work. What that's going to lead to, all of the stress, is higher business costs for you and a lower bottom line. We want to make sure we're solving this problem. Now, Tapcheck helps with reducing those issues and increasing your business performance. You'll see when you use a benefit like ours, 74% reduction in absenteeism costs, 48% reduction in turnover costs, and 50% reduction in hiring costs. What does that really mean? Your employees are showing up to work. They want to work because they know that if they work, they'll be able to access their paycheck early. This helps with clocking in and clocking out. If that's a problem at your organization, I've seen this solve that problem very much so. Reduction in turnover costs. They're not going to be looking to go to another employer. Only 6% of employers across the country offer this type of benefit of on-demand pay. And people are going to want to continue to work for an employer that offers this benefit. They realize they work for someone that cares about their financial health enough to have this type of benefit. And in recruiting, it's going to help there as well. You're not going to spend as much time working on recruiting. The potential employees are going to see the come work today, get paid today, or early paycheck access, and they're going to want to come work for your organization because that's not seen in most places. And when you start a new job, that first 2-week period or week period or half a month period, depending on your pay cycle, it's rough for the first few weeks for that employee because they're waiting to get that first paycheck. This is a way for them to access that pay right away on day one. And employees want the benefit. We've been interviewing a large amount of our clients that will use us, employers and employees. And for the employee side, 89% say that they would work longer for a company that provides Tapcheck. 79% say that they would switch to an employer that offers our benefit. So again, what you're seeing here are those proof statistically of employees wanting to stay working for a company that has on-demand pay from Tapcheck, and then 79% are saying that they will easily get recruited by a company that has this benefit. What does the benefit provide them outside of early access, right? Well, during our surveys, we've seen that 85% of our respondents say that they are budgeting better now. They have more eyes. They're looking at their finances much more often when they withdraw from their paycheck early. They want to see how it affects them. 78% are able to pay their bills on time and avoid late or overdraft fees. Not only is that helpful for them to save money with not paying fees, but it's helping them not hurt their credit anymore, so they can get more financially stable. It's multiple benefits all in one. 74% have said that they've reduced their financial stress. So again, that's going to lead to these other stats where 59% are more motivated to go to work. 56% say they are motivated to pick up more shifts or work more hours. And 51% want to improve their financial health. 46% say that this has helped increase their savings. I want to go back, though, to that 56% being more motivated to pick up shifts or work more hours. We're working with companies that have multiple salespeople, whether they're hourly or commission based. And they are starting to use Tapcheck so much more often than most. And why that is because they get hungry for the sales. They see that they're able to access their pay early. And then when the paycheck comes, including their commission, it's what, $100, $200 less. That motivates them to get more hours in. They want to work more. They want to make more sales. And in turn, that's just going to better the organization overall. How are they using Tapcheck? This is a very significant slide, in my opinion. You see almost 90% of the users that are using Tapcheck need it or are using it for needs, not wants. The biggest category is emergencies. That's what we had originally created it for. And now we're seeing it work for so many other reasons. 34% of employees say that they use it for emergencies. An example of an emergency I've heard is someone had their dog hurt and they needed a down deposit for a surgery with the veterinarian. Others were not able. A woman didn't have a roof over her head for the night for her and her family. And she had just started a new job to help improve their life overall and get more stable. She was able to get money on her very first day and have a roof over their head for the night at a motel. It's a sad story, but at the end of the day, we were able to help her. And that's what we're here to do. Regular expenses and rent or mortgage is combined as another 34% of this pie. And you'll see here that those are very major expenses in a person's life. And if you don't have enough money to pay for those things, it's going to lead to stress, which leads to poor performance at work. Food and groceries is a large category here at 13%. We're seeing leisure become a category as well at 12%. I think an example of when I spoke to an employee there was they wanted a little bit of extra fun money for a birthday weekend. And then a very significant one here is the 7% on loans. They're improving themselves. They're getting rid of that debt and they're able to do it early and not have extra interest because they're paying that loan payment on time. Now, a large amount of times when I'm making this demonstration or discussing this with an employer who's signing up, and they still have a few more questions because I usually am like the onboarding person at our organization. They'll say, well, is this going to be difficult to integrate? And the answer is always absolutely not. It is so easy to integrate with Tapcheck. I'm grateful because it's my job to integrate and it makes my life so much easier, right? But it's just these 4 steps and that's really all it is. You quickly sign up with us. We have our employer services agreement. It just says, Tapcheck can offer this benefit to my employees as an employer. Yes, I want to offer it. It's a voluntary benefit. You also give us an ACH form, and that's just so after we've advanced the money to your employees, come payday, it's just the debit back. That being said, still no extra cost. It's just, we give them our money to advance their pay. And then come payday, you just punt it to us instead of into their paychecks. No effect to your bottom line and no changes to your payroll process. Getting ahead of myself, that's the last piece of these bubbles, but still, it's always asked. But once you sign up, we then integrate with your payroll software and your time clock. If you have any type of manual system, no problem at all. We can work with that as well. We integrate with every major payroll. We are very ready to handle whichever software you're using or whatever system you do. It's very easy. I have a full team of account managers or account representatives. They're like implementation specialists, so many titles, but at the end of the day, they are very professional at what they do, and they make sure you have a fun time when you're getting onboarded as well. But it's simple. We connect with your payroll. We then understand what your employees are making. And because we're connected to the time clock, as they clock in and out, we can see how many hours they're working, at what rate, what are their taxes and deductions, any reimbursements. And then what we're showing them on our app is a net pay of what they've worked so far. They can never become net negative either. And I'll explain that why in a few minutes. But once we're integrated, we then roll out. We have a very customized rollout plan. We work with it's different for every company. We have newsletters, blurbs for blogs if you have them, email templates, a whole number of things, social media graphics that help your employees become aware of this new benefit. And it shows you as the employer as being caring enough to work to get them this benefit. Again, we do all of the work here. We just give you something so you can paste it and press send and then are ready to go. And then when it comes to the payroll process, after a pay cycle is finished, there's no changes. We send you a form of all the deductions. You basically just go like this, look at your system, look at the paper we've sent you, make sure they look the same, and you're good to go. I have had employers tell me more than once that it takes no more than 5 minutes per pay cycle. And that was like their very favorite thing about working with us. And so here's what it is. This is what it looks like. Very good example of a graphic for it. With Tapcheck, we have a mobile app. We also have a website for those that don't necessarily have a smartphone. And so what they can do is sign up, they register, they'll see their profile, just like Sarah Brown here at Comfort Keepers. She has $200 available and she's able to withdraw it. It looks like she's made 2 $20 withdrawals here. Typically it's around like the 75 to 100 range from what I've seen. And then employees are taken care of. She has 2 next day transfers. I'll actually talk about the different transfer speeds here in just a second. But let's talk about what it takes to register for the mobile app. It's the same on the website, but most people are using it on their smartphones. So this is why we demonstrate it this way. Step 1 is create their account. They'll put in their name, last name, email, cell phone. They'll then connect to their employer. That's still part of creating the account. As they start to type in your employer name, your business name, once we're integrated, it drops down a box, shows your name. They click that, and then the system instantly says, "Oh yeah, I know who you are." They will then input their social security and date of birth. We will have that information. We are using that so that they can verify who they are in our system. We take security very seriously here. We have regular internal audits. We have followed all of the different laws and rules to make sure that your employees' data is well protected. The idea is we want to make sure that only your employee can confirm that they are who they are and nobody else, because accessing your paycheck is one of the most important things there is, and we do not want anyone else to have access to that pay. They'll then sign a user agreement, and that's just, very standard. Yes, Tapcheck can, pull money from my paycheck. I'm volunteering to do this, and it's just regular terms and service like anything else. They then designate a bank account. If your employees do not have a bank account, we have a rapid card solution that I'll show you in just a few moments. And then they'll select a transfer speed. We have 2 different speeds: instant transfers and next day. And so instant transfers means just that. They go into the app, they select the amount they want, they press confirm, and then it's instantly funded to their bank accounts. It happens within seconds. This is our most used part of the service, actually. It is available all day, every day, 24/7, 365 days a year. Next day pay is not available as often. So it comes with it always comes with a smaller convenience fee. Because it's a bit slower, right? Not everybody needs a payment instantly. Some people are scheduling it the same day that they have to pay a specific bill. It's helping them really manage their finances in a different way, right? They're being on time, they're watching it, and that goes into that 85% of people are budgeting better. But with next day pay, as long as they request it by 3 p.m. Pacific, they will receive the funds in their bank account the following business day. This does exclude holidays and weekends. Luckily, though, with those limitations, if they were to miss the boat, they will be able to still always do an instant transfer. It's always available. And we call it a no risk solution because it really is no risk. We are funding all of it. When it comes down to at the advanced stage, if an employee requests $100 from Tapcheck from their paycheck, that money is coming from our company. That's why we are not affecting your bottom line. And it's no cost to you. And then, come payday, we do debit from you as a repayment back, but there's no extra service fee to you as an employer whatsoever. And it's done in an instant. I've heard nothing but good things on my end. We're using real-time information. So since we're intelligently connected to your payroll, we know exactly what your employee is making. There's no possibility of us making a mistake on that calculation because we know the taxes and deductions that they have on that paycheck. And we know how many hours they've been working because of the time clock. If it's a salary employee, we know what their rate of pay is, and we just assume an 8-hour day for each day. There are limits though, and that's to protect your employees and to protect you. We don't want anybody to get confused. We want to make sure this is an easy to use benefit, easy for the employers, easy for the employees, easy for us. And so we have a limitation that your employees can withdraw a maximum of 70% of net earnings throughout a pay cycle, not in a day. So if they were to make $1,000 in a pay cycle, right, they could withdraw a maximum over multiple days of $700 out of that 1,000. They would then be cut off and they couldn't withdraw more. Unless, the $1,000 amount went up, then they got to reach that 70%. We have a daily withdrawal limit as well at the start. They can access up to $100 at first. We have a bit of a reward system, so that limit can increase to a maximum of $200 per day. And so in my previous example of like getting the 700 out of 1,000, they'd have to do 7 straight days of $100 transfers to hit that. So they wouldn't be able to do $700 in one day because of that daily limit. Now, earlier I was talking about how your employees have the ability to have a bank account through Tapcheck or solve that direct deposit problem for you as an employer with this. So this is our pay card solution. We call it the Tapcheck pay card, and it's in partnership with Rapid. I'm sure many of you are familiar with Rapid here. If you're not, I'm going to tell you all about it right now. So it functions as a debit card. It's a full featured card. It's completely free. No additional work for your payroll department. All your employees have to do is they open their Tapcheck app. When it's asking them about their bank accounts and everything there, you can say, I want to request a pay card. And then there are 2 options. One option is they can get the card from you. We can send you a stack of blank cards, and then that card becomes their card. We call that the instant access card. You may also hear the word temporary. It's not a temporary card, but it's just a misplaced thing. So if you hear me say that in our meetings after this, that's why. We also have the ability for them to have Rapid send it to them directly. If you as an employer don't want to be signing out cards, which only takes like 3 minutes, But if you don't want to do that, it can show up in 7 to 10 business days. And that's like a more personalized card, has their name and everything on it. This card is not only directly tied to you. This is going to be just for that employee. So if they happen to leave your company, that card is still theirs. That question's always asked. They get cashback rewards with this. They can withdraw cash at any, Visa, ATM. If it's out of network, they pay an out of network fee. It's just like any normal debit card. They can pay bills with it. You can put them on direct deposit with this card. A lot of employers love that part. Not only because it helps make payroll that much easier, less check writing, but it helps the employee. Many employees, depending on your business, those that are here in the audience, but many employees will take their checks and then they don't have bank accounts. So they have to go pay money at a check cashing place just to get their money, right? We want to solve that problem and make sure that they've got an account. And again, this is all through Rapid. We're just making sure that your employees have something to better them. But they can make purchases. They can do, I think it's, what is it? A teller assisted withdrawal is what it's called. So if they go to a bank that's got a Visa logo, they can walk in, hand them the card and say, I'd like to withdraw X amount. Another example is they could just go to a store, buy a 10-cent bag and make a withdrawal there. And that's going to avoid a bunch of fees for them as well. And it comes with the option for an interest-bearing savings account as well. So it's a checking and savings account. So what does it look like to make a transfer once you're all set up, right? We've looked at how to integrate payroll and time clock. I've shown you how all of the employees will go through a registration process, adding their bank account or, signing up for the Rapid card. Now let's use it. And so you can request a transfer 24/7 with that instant transfer speeds, right? First, you're going to select the amount here on the left-hand side where my mouse is. So this person's doing $200. They've selected the instant transfer speed. And then they can select which bank account or card that they want the transfer to go to. We then have them confirm it. We don't want somebody to just hastily, make a transfer and say, oops, I put the wrong amount. We make sure we're trying to take care of the employees at the end of the day. We do as many double checks as we can. We want them to be happy with the service and we want you to be happy with the service. We call it white glove customer service. But they approve of it. They click a box that's saying, yes, I agree to this. And then they press transfer and then the money's in their account. You'll see here that the amounts vary, right? You'll see instant transfer amount is 200, but then they're going to receive 197.01 cents. That's because we take that service fee out of the amount that they are withdrawing. That way there's no potential for them to have any possibility of owing money. It is impossible to owe Tapcheck money. We have all of our limits in place to take care of the employee, and we're not a loan service. We are helping people get an advance. So we want to make sure that everyone is taken care of and that there's no way for it to be a negative impact on themselves. That's why we have those limits, right? No net negative to their paycheck. They have bigger purchases to make on payday. We want to save that for them. So anyone here that works in payroll is like, there's no way that this is easy on me. It really is. Since we get integrated with your payroll, typically the deductions are already punted back into your system. If not, you could just import them with an Excel file. Very easy. I've walked so many people through this and I have yet to hear complaints. Anyone that has complained after they've actually been walked through it are like, oh, this is so much easier than I thought. But yeah, we schedule the import as step one. Then and that's just, we talk about that in the very first meeting. What day do you want us to send the deductions over? That's all it is. Step two is we send you over those deductions in an Excel file as well, because you're going to want to review them. And so that shows the names of those that have made advances, what are the amounts, and then it totals them at the bottom so you can see the total amount of money that's been advanced through that pay cycle. You'll then just take that, make sure it matches up with what's in your system, and then you just process payroll normally. It really is that easy. So what you're able to do, and the reason I just say it's easy so much, and what I'm trying to do here is help you understand you're getting a free service for your employees. It's going to better their lives financially, make them more motivated for work, and it's not going to be extra work for your employees in the payroll department. What does it look like? So here's what an example of what a single deduction report looks like for Harry. For example, here, $200. He did it in January. Total amount to be debited is going to be $200. That's exactly what you'll see in your employer portal. You get your own employer portal with Tapcheck. We walk you through it all. You'll also see here's what a payroll register summary looks like. And down here, we've made it nice and big. That's the instant pay deduction is what we're called. Now, what does it look like on the employee's end on payday? So we synchronize their paycheck with the app. We want to make sure that your payroll system and our app are completely matched up. That way the employee has no surprises. They can look at their transfer histories. They can look at their paycheck. They know exactly why there's that deduction. And you'll see with the $200 here, they match up. So on the paycheck, instant pay or INST pay, $200. Tapcheck, $200 transfer. They did a next day transfer, it looks like. But yeah, very easy. They can always go into their system. We also have a very, very well built out customer service team. It actually just got even larger this week with some new hires, and because we want to make sure everyone's taken care of. And so they can contact them at any time. I think that might actually be one of the next slides or so. But we take care of all of those questions. Now, here's some examples of what our employees, the employers are saying. Nandish over in the East Coast, he's a large franchise owner of Little Caesars restaurants. I think it's about 20 or more restaurants. He's offering Tapcheck has improved retention and helped recruitment. It has also reduced absenteeism and improved morale and engagement. The Tapcheck customer success team had great follow through and made the process as easy and seamless as possible. That was David over at Sport Clips. Home Instead, we have Colette, super nice person. She said, thank you for creating a pay advance process that has integrity, is affordable, and doesn't take advantage of the employee who is in need. And then we have David over at Comfort Keepers, says, one of the easiest things we've ever tried to add to the organization. So it's not just me telling you it's easy. Our employers are saying that, and then I just in turn tell you what they're saying. But we talk to the employees as well. We want to know how their experiences is. We're like any other, financial tech startup. We talk to our customers. We make sure they're taken care of, and we take that feedback to build a product, to continuously build a product that does nothing but improve and help them even more. You'll see Alona here. Tapcheck has changed my life for the better, knowing I can get money at any moment of me working at this company. Knowing I can get money at any moment of me working at this company means a lot to me. Rebecca said, it's been helping me with paying stuff off and getting my credit back up. And now because of what we went through in Texas, the freeze that had just happened recently, other emergencies have come up and Tapcheck has been helping. Shalance, she said, I got into a car accident last night, so the emergency funds will be useful. That's a big one. If you ever have employees complaining about not having enough gas money to get to work, that is a very common one that I hear about now. Or like a car breaking down, they now have money for Uber because they could access their paycheck ahead of payday. And you'll see Gracie here, you're borrowing from yourself. So you don't have to pay anybody back. You don't have to pay any interest. So again, no payday lenders, no interest. We are not a loans company. They are borrowing their own money. And so here's some slides about what it's like when we roll out. The biggest and most important part of rolling out any benefit, as I'm sure all of the employers know here, is making sure your employees even know it exists. You've been through the meetings, you've done all this document signing, you're doing the integrating. We need to make sure they know about your work that you've done to better them. And so we're here to help with that. We make that easier than probably any company I've ever worked for. We provide posters, flyers. We have tons of different employee handouts. We create copy for your newsletters and emails. We help you on social media when you're trying to do the recruiting aspect. We have 2 informational videos as well. We're going to have plenty more soon enough too. They're actually in the pipeline. We have ones that explain to the employees what Tapcheck is. We have those that explain for the employer what it is. So if you have a group of managers, say if you're a franchise owner here and you have a group of district managers, you can help them understand why you as an employer wanted this for their employees. Show them the employer side. Hey, it's helping with retention. It's helping with recruiting. And that just takes away all the training, right? And then your managers can then show your employees, their employees, the explainer video for them. So you've got this already perfect, like stacked onboarding process for everybody that you don't have to create. You don't need to recreate the wheel for. It's just set up and ready to go, plug and play. And I'm now just going to show you a bunch of examples of what employers are using or doing and other options you have. We have tons of break room materials. You'll see this employer, we left the name out for privacy benefits, but they'll see early access to wages via Tapcheck. We have on location posters and stickers. This is an example of what our stickers look like. You just put it on by the door, like you've seen at other shops for like promotions they have, but ours is saying, we're hiring, apply inside, and it says every day could be payday. So that's going to be a come work today, get paid today. It's a very alluring way to recruit employees. Here's examples of different emails we've created. We've actually even updated these. I love how these look, but we're always updating. We're trying to just consistently improve and improve and improve, and it's working. We have welcome emails, promotional emails, informational emails. We have flyers, or these what we call employee handouts. Always has a QR code, if you've noticed, on all of these things, so that they can just take their phone. You can't see it because of my filter, but take the phone, scan it, gets the download. And then a welcome letter. We can mail your employees. All of this, of course, is always done with your approval. We never do anything out of step. We really enjoy the partnership with our employers. But I'm pretty sure every single employer I've ever worked with has said yes to this welcome letter. But it says like important employer benefit inside, so they know it's coming from you. And then it talks about our partnership. As you can see here, they open it up, scan the code. They now have the app that's going to help better them. Now, customer service. I help run this team as well, and I want you to know that I take this very serious. My very first job out of college was running a customer service inside sales team for Cisco Foods, a Fortune 500 company, and I managed them there. And it was very important that at the end of the day, all restaurateurs, all grocery stores, everybody is taken care of, and I'm taking that mindset here as well. We make sure that you as an employer shouldn't have to answer a bunch of questions about a company you don't work for. You've got other HR issues to deal with, other payroll things to manage. We want to take that off your back. So if an employee comes in with questions, we'll of course help you be knowledgeable about Tapcheck, but it's no problem if they're like, hey, I'm having a problem with it. You can just say, call their customer service. We get calls quite often, and everybody at the end of that call is taken care of. We have live in-app chat, phone support, and email support. We are available 24/7. Your employees might need money and the emergency in the middle of the night. We want to make sure we're there to help them get that money. So again, pass the buck to us. We're here to help. But yeah, at the end of the day, what I've gone over today is that Tapcheck is a solution that can help you recruit more employees, because they're going to find it to be an attractive benefit that most employers are not offering. It's still a growing industry. They're going to want to continue to work for you because they know that you are, unique. You let them access their paycheck ahead of payday. And then we're free. And we make payroll very easy. There's no additional steps. But yeah, I'm Alex Avid. That was my presentation for today. And I'm now going to pause and see what questions have come up. If you have questions but haven't asked them yet, please make sure you do. I think we're both live on the HR Tech conference website, which again, thank you for having us, by the way. And then we have the YouTube site as well for chat. So if wherever you're live streaming this, feel free to ask questions there. Wendy's going to punt those questions to me, and I'm going to answer them live.
Awesome. Thanks, Alex. So we do have our first question, which is coming from Premara John, which is, how is the employer paying for the Tapcheck services on behalf of the employees?
Absolutely. The employer is not paying for the service in a sense of it's not costing you anything additional, right? So you don't have to give us any type of deposit. We're not holding any money to make sure that we do the advance. We are advancing them with our money. Then when payday comes, it's going to show up as a deduction on their paycheck. So you're not going to pay them that amount, right? They've already been paid that amount. So we just ACH that amount from you as a repayment. It's not costing you any more money than what you were already expecting to pay on that paycheck, right? The funds just are transferred or moved to a different place instead of the employee's paycheck.
Great. And I'll give you a follow-up question, which is, how do we make sure that this isn't a system that gets abused by the employees?
Absolutely. That's why we have the limits that I was talking about earlier, right? We make sure it goes only up to a maximum of 70% net earnings. That's perfectly changeable. If you'd like to go to 50% or change it in any way, we're completely customize how this product works. But we've learned that specific percentage has been doing a great job of making sure they don't go overboard. They're still going to have a hefty amount of their paycheck left for those bigger expenses. And then overall, they have to work to even have money available, right? So if they're not coming to the office and they're just like wanting to sit at home and collect money out of their paycheck, they can't because they haven't been building that paycheck out. I've yet to see anybody really abuse this product. But at the end of the day, we have limits to make sure that's in place. An important thing to note as well is I believe within 1 to 2 weeks from now, we are releasing a full library of financial literacy articles. We've got April, which is financial literacy coming up, financial literacy month coming up. And we want to make sure that everyone's taken care of. We also want to improve our product, right? And so it's going to have a large number of different articles that teach some things like how to read a check. When I was working at NerdWallet, the #1 article read on that website was how to read a check. We're going to have articles like that that help them understand what's a mortgage, what's a loan, how do I pay my taxes, bunch of different financial literacy ones. I'm kind of making up these titles as I go, but that is what the content's going to be. I'm just already familiar with how financial literacy websites work. But so we're going to be teaching them how to not abuse their finances. And while at the same time we've got the limits, we're teaching them how to be better financially too.
Awesome. I'm super excited that we're bringing on that financial education piece as well. So we actually just got another question in from Sue Ellen, and it is, what happens if it is the final paycheck for the employee and we're recovering funds? So there are not enough funds available to pay back on that check.
We have a way in our employer portal for you to go in and mark an employee as terminated. We are always staying up to date with the employee's status. So each and every time, so when we're integrated with your payroll, we're aware of if they're still working at your organization or not. We're also aware if like the hours are not totally incorrectly too, right? And so whenever we see like a weird blip, we alert you as the employer to check if somebody's still working there before we make those transfers, right? You're not liable as an organization. So if somehow, some way, which never happens, but if it does, somebody were to withdraw $100 and then disappear, we would take it out of their paycheck ahead of time, their final paycheck. And that's why we have the termination piece on the website. But if for some reason or another, they just completely got away with it, we're the ones that are liable for that. Never happens. All of our limits in place, make sure you're taken care of. But it just never happens.
Great, thanks for that explanation. So I will send you over another question, which is, how exactly do we come up with the available balance to show how much that they've earned?
That's because we're connected to your payroll and time clock, right? So what your payroll system is telling us, whether it's an API where they're communicating back and forth, all of that information, but we're learning their name, date of birth, social, what they're getting paid. Again, the date of birth and social and name are to help them verify who they are upon sign up. But then we know what their pay rate is. And then because we're connected to time clock, we know how much they're working. In addition to knowing their pay rate, we know what taxes they're paying, what are their deductions, any types of reimbursements. And then what we're doing is we're making sure we calculate what their net paycheck looks like based on all the information that your system is telling us. And so we're as accurate as possible. We're just as accurate as your system because it's coming from your system. And so that net amount is what's made available. Again, what they see is only up to 70% of their net paycheck. We're not showing them, what is their paycheck so far. We're showing them what is allowed for them to withdraw.
Awesome. So that is all of the questions I've seen so far.
Okay. We have about, I think, 7 minutes left for our presentation. So anyone here that has more questions, or if you're interested in using the service, leave your email. I'm sure we'll have it either way since you're a member of the conference. But I would say if you want us to reach out directly, here's my contact information. You have my direct line. You have my email. If you want to mail me a letter, there's the address for the business. I say contact me via phone and email, of course. But let us know. And then if you have questions, I'm going to stick around while we've got this time. So please ask away. But thank you all for joining us today. And then just to make sure, Wendy, are we checking the conference page and the YouTube?
Yes, we are.
Okay, great. I have my presentation on my screen, so I can't check, but thank you. I figured as much. All righty. Well, it sounds like we don't have any more questions. So again, thank you everyone for coming today. Looks like we'll end the webinar here. But we appreciate everybody coming. I know that we have a recording of this today, so if you want to review it with your payroll department or others at your organization for discussion, we'll have this, and we also have this presentation, the deck, available to you as well by request. I'm not sure if we're making it available publicly or not, but we will have it available by request either way. So thank you again for listening to me jab on about Tapcheck. It really is a good benefit. I love working here because of what I'm seeing happen for employees and how it's bettering their lives. But thank you again. Have a great rest of your day, and I hope you enjoy the rest of this last day of the conference.